but you are the party.
Buddy in your channel was kicked from the server.
Well, that's the way we start everything off, by Betsy being kicked.
Buddy was moved to your
Oh,
channel.
beautiful.
All right,
hell,
guys.
even Tadpole's
User
I
not
think
gonna
we're
start
gonna
off
start
channel
this
was
meeting.
banned from the server.
What is happening? Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine.
User joined your channel.
Wow, okay. So I officially can no longer see everybody in the team speak. So we're going to start this off here strong by saying thank you guys all for coming out to the meeting. I unfortunately am losing my voice tonight, so I'm not sure how far we're going to get before Sick or Cyanide will have to take over. Maybe Howitzer will just yell at everybody for the rest of the meeting. Works for me. So, starting off, guys, this last 2 months, we've had over 8,000 unique players come through the server. That's an all-time record for us. That's absolutely absurd. And I hope, thanks to all you, that we've been getting a few of those people staying. And, you know, over the next weekend and whatnot, we'll see another full server and a half or so like we have been the last while. On top of that, we're also 100% supported by donations right now. We've not, like, none of the staff here has paid anything into the server recently. You guys have been keeping us alive, and we thank you for that. We dedicate a lot of time. We know you guys do too, and it's awesome to be still around and still having awesome content compared to all the other servers that seem to be dying recently. We are also, some magically way, I assume based on pure sick godlikeness, one of the most stable Altis Life servers after the 1.54 patch. We do appreciate you guys sticking by us after we had to deal with all the instability. Bohemia likes to bring the big pink dildo out sometimes and fuck us, but guess what? We're right back where we were and add new features again. So starting off, you've probably seen a little bit of a decline in some of the EMS apps. We're going to be handling all the EMS apps tonight if you hear about those. And there is an interview time set. It's in the forum topic for interview times. There's a link right there. Also, for the EMS, we're currently looking for people over 20 years old with EMS experience or possibly command or admin experience on other servers or around here to apply directly, because I don't really have the time or ability to handle EMS while I'm doing the head admin stuff around here. If we go in game, there's a million people RDMing, as you guys have seen, and we have to deal with that.
You're whispering, by the way, I'm that guy.
Oh shit, sorry.
You're good.
Hey, okay. I think I control pause or something like that. So if you are interested in applying for EMS Command and you're over 20 years old, because that is a big caveat, here you go.
You're doing it again.
What the heck?
head admin.
There we go, that's impossible now. I have no idea why that was happening. So yeah, that's the topic there. Moving on, for Community Ambassador interviews, we are doing another round of Community Ambassador interviews coming up. All those apps are going to be accepted. So if you do have interest in it, feel free to apply. There's a topic on the forums I can link you to. But we're looking for people that have been around here for a while hanging out, and they're also, I believe the requirement is older than 16, but I mean, if you're really mature and you've been hanging out, we already know you. Feel free to apply. A few people are giving out references, so feel free to ask around to anybody applicable on the forum there. If you click to apply, it tells you who's applicable. Beyond that, guys, we have kind of a sad note. To anybody that's previously donated on the server, we had some perks left over. We are having to full remove those perks. The rest of the donator pullout has to happen now. So some of the basic spawns and stuff may still be there. As you probably noticed back in a previous patch that Sick rolled out, those features were missing. It is absolutely something we have to do based on Bohemia's rules, because we have officially applied for our monetization, and that means we are going to be getting, hopefully, if we get accepted, and that should be, we'll be getting features for donators like custom skins, custom vehicle skins, clothing skins, Y items for roleplay that other people won't be able to have access to. Nothing game-changing, like you're not going to get a item that's going to heal you up to full health or something like that nobody else gets. But you will get cool items that will help you out with some of the roleplay scenarios that we love to inspire and we know you guys love to do, as well as some more unique stuff just to show off how cool you guys are. We're going to open the floor to questions at the end, guys. And lastly, we're going to kind of bring Sick in here. Server's been going through some changes. There's some patches rolling out over the next week or so. And if he's still here, have him talk on some of those features.
Yeah, okay, guys. So, as usual, thanks for joining the meeting and all that. We all appreciate you taking your time. But yeah, we got a lot of features coming. As you guys know, we kind of dabbled in that a second ago. The instability of the 1.54 patch was pretty ridiculous. Personally, my personal take on it is I've never seen a professional game release something so broken, not have the humbleness to roll it back, et cetera, et cetera. They're still right now rolling out hot fixes almost every single day on the dev branch. They're at like hotfix version like 15 now. We are stable on version 8. They have all types of animation crashes right now in the game where when you get restrained, the server crashes. Restrain animations just aren't working at all. I know some of you have come across some restrain glitches in our server. That is due to Bohemia's patch. It's one of those few things that's kind of broken, but we're stable. So I'm not updating to all these new broken versions that everybody keeps Dwarden keeps releasing over and over again. We're going to stay on this stable version because, well, we are stable and there are still huge communities that are coming to me. How is your server not crashing? What are you guys doing? Please, can we have your settings, et cetera, et cetera. So we're definitely doing something right. So all that set aside, now that we're stable, I can start releasing content again. So I apologize for that month of kind of a little bit of bland, lack of releases. But I assure you, my head was in the book, so to speak. I was just, constantly trying to find fixes and make server-side changes and adjust database calls and all types of stuff, trying to optimize stuff to try and get us, stable. Eventually, something I did worked. I released a huge patch with the last big patch that was out, and it worked. I'm not sure what I did, but it worked, so not complaining. Long story short, this patch that's coming out later tonight, really big patch. There will be no more combat logging. Combat logging is 100% solved. You can try and get around it. There's automatic consequences, et cetera, et cetera. In my opinion, is the greatest anti-combat log system in all of Altis Life by a long shot. Very proud of it. Been working on it over the last couple days. Can't wait to put it into action. And you guys will actually have to wait out your death or get revived or whatever. There's no more, no more Alt F4ing and coming back. When you come back, you'll have to wait out your time. So I think that's a really good thing. Another thing that we're moving into is a whole new HUD GUI. A lot of you have seen, GUIs and stuff with bars and stuff on the right-hand side with the Altis Life 4.0 update, stuff like that. I've upgraded our HUD, kind of customized it a little bit so that it has upgradability in the future and we can add more and more features to it. We have a whole new, well, not whole new, but we have a new menu structure for Windows key. That menu structure offers more keys, stuff like that, so I can put lots more actions and stuff on there. There's a scroll wheel pickup function that's been implemented in this patch where you may have seen it on some other popular servers. I've had a lot of requests from a lot of new players to add this feature. So based on trying to appease new players on our server and not have them feel alienated and have them have an option to either use the scroll wheel like they've seen before or use the Windows key. Windows key picking up items has been glitchy in the past, and I've completely recoded the action key handler, and it is not glitchy at all. And boy, was that done poorly by, I guess, Tonic. It's a lot better now. It actually picks up stuff when you press the Windows key. Next, moving on, you'll have the ability to blindfold people. Another feature that's been heavily requested by you guys, the community. We'll be seeing that added in this next patch. There'll be some new prices. Like I'm that guy said, we are basically forced to remove the final things that some old school supporters have had lurking around. There's some IDs we didn't remove from the database. There's some people who had a shop that had no special things in it, but just access to a shop in a special location. So we've just cleaned up and cut all the ties and stuff, and we've really ended it, so to speak, officially on all levels. So with that, the prices and shops and stuff have been modified. There is a lot more vehicles offered at stuff like North Rebel. Not necessarily more vehicles in the sense of new vehicles. There's only so many models and armor, right? But like different versions of it, like, the Rebel quad, the police quad, the independent quad, different versions of off-roads, all three armed off-roads, et cetera, et cetera. The list goes on. So just did added a lot more stuff, vehicles for you guys. It's like all there now, everything that the game has to offer pretty much. That goes for helicopters as well and stuff. There's going to be some new Y menu items and stuff that are usable. I'm not going to reveal exactly what those are just yet, but you guys will like them. Some stuff for medics as well. Complete overhaul on some of the drugs and drug systems. I'm personally embarrassed that a smoke grenade blows up, and that's us smoking weed. Is a smoke grenade blowing up and exploding above our head? Yeah, that's embarrassing to say the least. So we'll be fixing that and using proper particle effects and stuff. Um, AI missions will be tweaked to be a lot better, much more intelligent AI. In a future patch, we'll have actually new AI missions, which are going to be really badass. From what I've done with them so far, they're really tough, and it's cool how they spawn out. You guys are definitely gonna have fun with those, but that's in a future patch. But yeah, true 4-to-1 night to day ratio. The timing of the night is 100% fixed, confirmed, retested over and over. The night and day will be fixed, gentlemen. It is 100% working. So, fast nights, long days, and we should see about 2 night cycles, 2 day cycles per 4 hours or something along those lines. So that will be really good. About rain and weather, I do see in my notes right here, getting along to that, we do have weather forecasts added for the patch after this. I actually have weather forecasts, tired of parachuting when it's too windy, in quotations. So yeah, we'll actually have weather forecasts and stuff like that. An enhanced, even further weather system. Stuff like lightning and stuff will get working in the server with more avid and graphic lightning strikes with dynamic effects and stuff like that. It's going to be really nice, man. But yeah, we'll have a forecast. It'll probably be something that's attached, like the auction house app or something. I'll probably make it automatic. I probably won't make it so you have to buy it, but it'll just be into your Y menu or something. You'll have like a part where you can check the weather or something. The patch after this also, this is not this patch. We're moving on now to the next patch. We have kidney log protection. No more combat logging with kidneys and stuff like that. A whole new jail I've been working on. It's fucking really nice to say the least. It's going to be good. Crafting enhancements have already been underway. We got some more big changes coming for that. Stuff like making vehicles out of metal items and stuff like that, and some scrap metal and stuff like that, and battery parts and other things. It's going to be pretty cool. Talked about the pay and spray in the past. That is something that's going to happen. I don't know about this next patch because it's actually something that's going to have a bunch of sub menus, and I want to really make that good. So pay and spray is definitely happening though. Like I said, we have the new AI missions that are coming, 3 of those. Gang warrior modifications, souping that up a little bit, kind of fine tuning some things that are wrong with it right now. You'll be able to taint and poison drugs with toxic chemicals and stuff, additives to poison your enemies or troll your friends. We just did weather forecast. And then on the back burner, we have a second Fed being made. That should actually be released sometime in the next week or two. I already have that almost half working. And in the process of doing that, once that works, it'll be easy to kind of replicate that code and make it into banks as well. I'm going to put some banks all across Altis. So there'll be banks throughout as well. We have different player job types that are coming. Drug dealers, stuff like that. It'll be kind of similar to how rebels work and stuff like that. Bounty hunters, we're figuring out a few things. I have it almost done coded. I mean, technically I could copy my code in and paste it in and we could have bounty hunters tomorrow. Would all of the little discrepancies be handled? No. And that's the issue, and that's why they're not going live. There's some metagaming issues. There's a whole bunch of roleplay issues when we talk about it behind closed doors as staff. There's a lot of hard thought that needs to come with that. And actually, we might hold a meeting specifically just to address something like bounty hunters in the future, with you guys included, by the way. Anyways, yeah, like I said, we'll have more banks. Gang hideouts we completely changed and souped up. We've had requests to make it kind of like cartels and stuff like that. Call it what you will, whatever name you want. Basically, you'll be able to capture stuff, take it over, and there'll be special guns and weapons and things that you can buy at gang hideouts that you won't be able to buy at Rebel. So there'll be a huge incentive to take over the gang hideouts, control them, capture them, and while you have control of them, people who will buy stuff from them, you'll make profit off of and stuff like that, if you're not there to defend it and prevent them from taking it, etc. So anyways, that's kind of what we're looking at in the future. There's a ton more updates beyond that. You guys know how I do stuff. I just get creative and decide to add features here and there. So, and I'm sure there's going to be, this list is going to get a lot longer with all the ideas that I've been hearing over the last couple of days from a lot of you. So, yeah, the to-do list never ends. So.
Yep. To cut back in here, we have a couple other things coming up as well that aren't specifically server related. Some are. First off, the unused houses that have been sitting around, nobody can buy houses in Kavala, that kind of thing. Players that have no longer played here, as in don't log in any longer, will get their houses refunded and brought back into the pool of viable houses slowly over the next month or so. So, I mean, if you play here, it's not going to be a problem. Don't worry about it. But the people who haven't played here in over, a few months or whatever, they won't have those houses anymore, and, they'll be reopened. You won't know where they are, so you may want to just try it over the next month, but that is something you can look forward to. A few more houses available. Other than that, we're also working on the admin side, creating a better way for the cops and gangs that actually want to help the cops to work contracts out with a kind of society of gangs that would be working together to do contracts in a rule set in order to not get kicked out of that club. So those gangs will be able to get official contracts. And lastly, we're going to be changing our official gang system to have a bit more guidelines so that you guys who are awesome at role-playing that are a part of gangs can enforce that on, some of the gangs that maybe aren't so good, and kind of help push the level of roleplay we have in the server to a better level than some of the, smaller gangs or fringe gangs that come out and, just troll around a bit and that kind of thing. So we'll be kind of expecting our official gangs to be up to a bit of a higher standard than before, which should be pretty cool. And the two gang changes, should be announced in the next 2 weeks or so. You'll see some forum posts and some information on how to join up and enroll your gang in that.
One thing that we will be integrating into the server is a karma system. Some of you who know me have heard me talking about it now for a good month or so. Basically, what this karma system is it's a way for people who contribute to the server in a positive manner to receive some type of bonus in game for it. No donations, nothing like that. This has nothing to do with anything like that. This simply has to do with actions that you complete in game. If you kill somebody, you might lose a little bit of karma. If you rob somebody, you'll lose some karma. If you, take somebody hostage and blah, 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 losing karma. You get it. Negative actions receive some negative karma. Positive actions, gathering, contributing to airdrops, AI events, stuff like that. Forum posts, good forum posts. Our moderators will have the ability to plus you karma in-game because you made a really good thread that a lot of people were interested in and it was good for the community, et cetera, et cetera. Long story short, it's basically a way for people to kind of have their contribution to the community paid, make a little payment, into them in game and kind of say, hey, thank you for being a great player, not being a troll. And whereas somebody who just joins our server every 3 days and kills people on a hill will not have the same benefits in game as somebody who has played here and contributed properly. Now, to counterbalance that, people who join will start with positive karma. So everybody will start on a level playing field. You'll have to fuck it up to lose it, basically, And obviously, this is just something that I've seen on 1 or 2 other European servers, and I thought it was a great idea, and I think it'll work great in our community because we have a lot of good people who are regulars and like to contribute. So.
Right on.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, if we don't have any more announcements, Sick, we can move on to questions.
Yeah, sure. There was something else I want to say, but I forgot it. So, yeah, we're good. We can just do questions. If I think about it, I'll jump in with it.
Right on. So, everybody here, we handle questions this way if you haven't been around for one of these meetings before. We're going to go down the list from top to bottom, and we're going to go based on who has a -Q at the end of their name. So just put space -Q at the end of your name if you have a question. We'll go to you, And if you want another question after that, you can either leave that in your name and we'll come hit you up in the next round. We'll just keep doing that till we're out of questions. If you no longer have a question, though, please remove the -Q from your name. Otherwise, I'm going to ask you, I'm going to unmute you, and you're going to look like an idiot. It'll be kind of funny, but I don't know if it's all that useful. Get everybody a second here to get that all set up. Alrighty, I'm going to start off with the first one I see here, which is Vince. So, Mr. Vince, what's going on?
I'm going to ask this for everyone who's probably thinking about it. When's the wipe happening?
All right, yeah, that's what I want to talk about. Thank you, sir. The wipe is, okay, there's a new version of Altis Life that's coming out, basically. In 1.54, they changed BizFunk NP and all that to remote exec calls. I know some of you are like, what the fuck are you talking about? Long story short, they left it backwards compatible, so all the old code works, but the way that the remote exec calls work is that they're whitelisted and blacklisted, and they're whitelisted and blacklisted based on a client function. This is a server function. This is a join in progress JIP function, etc. So what it's the goodness there is it's supposed to prevent hackers from being able to just remote execute. That's the biggest problem on our server when you see hackers come in and fucking wreck shit. It's remote executions every time. So there's a whitelist of functions, so they can't remote execute because all the functions that they would use would be blacklisted and caught, right? They wouldn't be able to, function across the whole server. Well, long story short, there's still an issue. Hackers are able to basically hard patch their data into this whitelist, their bad functions, and they're still able to remote execute in your server, and it's actually almost worse. So I'm waiting for them to fix that shit. As soon as every single day on the new Altis Life project, they're making more and more updates. They just redid the housing system. Everything's duping. There's issues. There's so many. You can't restrain people the other day. Like, there's just so many problems right now with this Altis Life that I'm honestly just waiting till they get their shit together, until they get it stable, which could be in 2-3 days, could be in a week or two. And whenever that's stable, I'm basically taking that framework and I'm going to gut it and take out all the fail stuff, re-put all the stuff that I've been working on over the last couple months and new features that I continue to work on, like yesterday, today, tomorrow, and input all that stuff into there. So I'm kind of just sitting here storing up the stuff ready to, I've got the ammunition loaded. I'm just like loading it. Okay, I got another feature ready. I got this ready. And as soon as we're ready to actually go into a non-broken new Altis Life framework, that's when we're going to do it, as soon as things are stable, basically. So, like I said, I'd like to say we'll do it tomorrow. The reality of it is we could just wipe whenever. And the problem is that when we upgrade to this new database of 4.0 and the new way that they do querying and stuff, we're going to have to wipe the DB. So I say, why the hell should we wipe and then wipe again in a month or two or a week or two or whatever it is now at this point? It just seems so dumb. I'd rather do what me and that guy are doing and clear out houses for people. We're logging time logged into the DB and stuff now, so we can clear out houses of people who haven't even been here in weeks and stuff like that, and that will appease you guys hopefully in the meantime, while we're waiting for this to, while we're waiting for this to work. So long story short, the wipe is coming, but I don't have a date set. It just is what it is.
Yeah, to kind of cut in here, we have kind of three things going on in the Altis Life community that are kind of interesting. The first being just there's a huge change in the framework and who's handling what in the actual community coding the base project, which is very interesting. It's switched before, but not this dynamically, and it's never affected us because there wasn't, a wipe upcoming, there wasn't these performance issues from Bohemia, and there wasn't the hacking problem that are going on right now. So SICK is spread pretty thin, working on all those. When it does, like you said, officially come to a point where the main project of Altis Life is stable, they're not trading developers around, and they've got a project that works, we will absolutely be getting everything set and wiping. Until then, we're going to be doing minor managements and fixing things in our current database without affecting or wiping everybody's cache or doing anything drastic, because we don't want to have to rewipe again as soon as it gets to something that is more stable. All right, we'll move on to the next here. We got Mr. Joe.
now with the karma system, would it be locked to different stores, where if you have a negative karma, you can't access different stores, or will it be just one store?
You'll have different prices most likely. Like you'll have basically a discount. It'll be like a community discount or something. Like
All right.
the role play there is that the store clerk's cool with you and he's hooking you up because you're a friendly person in the community or something like that. Whatever. The reality of it is that you'll have discounts. They'll have regular base prices. People who, like I said, this is not something that is going to be lopsided when new people join though. When new people join, they start with basically best karma. So you start off good. You're gonna lose it most likely is the problem because you're gonna be killing people, you're gonna be robbing people, you're gonna be doing things in Altis life. Somebody who joins and just decides to gather and do other things, they're gonna be peachy. They're probably never gonna lose it because they're never gonna be put in a situation where they're going to lose it. So they'll just remain, with all the stock, whatever prices and opportunities. Yes, there might be a couple shops and stuff like that get opened up. But once again, we're not trying to do something where people feel like, oh, I don't have access to that and they do. That's not fair, blah, blah, blah. So that's why the karma system will start off. There's no reason to not start with, good karma, basically. Everybody who joins our server gets the best, you could be the next best player. That's the way we're looking at it. And you have to fuck up and be a troll and just kill tons of people and rob people and kidneys and whatever, take an ear or whatever else I'm working on in the background. And next thing you have lost tons of karma. You haven't ever gathered, and somehow you have infinite cash. Like, those types of players will be punished. You know what I mean?
All right, so moving on, Mr. Barbosa has a question. What's up, Barbosa?
You mentioned about the new jail. Is that going to be still the same silly, ruthless jail where you can just airlift people out, or is it going to be like the Fed where you've got to put a bomb on the jail door and break people out and be an awesome jailbreak and the cops come and it's like the Fed?
There's multiple jails I'm working on. I have a regular jail, I have an insane asylum, and I have a drug rehab. But basically, the regular jail that I started to build is not a dome. The dome is glitchy as fuck, and it is a piece of shit, to be honest. I put barbed wire and stuff over the jail, and you cannot heli lift people out of it. So
excellent, thank you.
Yep.
Right on. Moving on to Kronos. What's up, Kronos?
I've been sort of seeing posts or threads about this in the forums. I'm just wondering, stock markets, are those going to be implemented?
Yes, sir. That is a coming soon feature.
Sweet.
The coming soon side of things may have gotten missed. I don't know. I said a second Fed, few banks to rob, different player job types. We have to still work out RP on bounty hunters, new gang hideouts, stock markets, and power plant missions. Basically, what you do is you're going to cut out the power to a town, and then the rebels are going to have to take over that area, and they're going to get some good cash payout. And the cops are going to have to go back to the power plant, restore the power, and then take over the town. So this is more than just a singular battle. The rebels are probably going to set some people up at the power plant, I would imagine, because they want to prevent the cops from just turning it on so easy. And when the cops turn on the lights and stuff, variables will be set and will enact the takeover phase, and then cops will have to go and swoop in and take over the town. This is going to be a lot of fun, I think, for people, man. But yeah, anyways.
Right on. So stock markets, yes. Next up is Brandon here. What do you want, Mr. Brandon?
Yo, alright, I was wondering, so I was kind of wondering, I was just like scanning some like new role plays and stuff, and I was thinking about like if there would be a way we could add like a dispatcher in, so like if we get a new text or something like in a we can role play a person that like dispatches like, hey, it's dispatch blah blah blah, there's like a robbery, and like add like a slot in the cop.
That would be
That's on your
less about a
sergeants.
community meeting.
Yeah, that's on the sergeants. That's not on your. That's not on a community meeting.
Yeah, like you guys in the APD can absolutely elect somebody to do that, but it has nothing to do with the system. Wouldn't change at all. You'd just be responding back to them via text. So that's outside the meeting.
Okay, sorry.
No, you're all good. Moving on to Mr. Dimitri. What's up, Dimitri?
I just had a simple question about the what you would call a karma system in regards to police, as I'd imagine that we get into more sticky situations than civilians do. So how would it work for us? Because
every time you get called a pig, your karma goes up by 30.
Well, you guys just have good karma. You're not bad players as long as you're not getting infringements for any reason or whatever. You would lose karma. Well, one thing we talked about was people would lose karma for breaking rules. Like if a cop broke a SOP or did something like that, they would get a karma infringement maybe. But I mean, at the end of the day, cops aren't going around stealing kidneys and fucking wrecking the server. You know,
yeah.
so there's
The
no
only
reason
reason
to
I
even
was
include
bringing it up
them.
is because of you said if someone kills someone, or gets into some type of engagement, they lose karma. But I'm assuming police wouldn't.
Yeah, the big thing for the APD would be if you're getting suspended, if you're getting kicked off the APD because you're going around, doing things wrong or breaking rules on the server, that's when you get your karma removed.
Oh, okay. I was on the impression
cops,
that
this isn't as an in-depth feature for cops as it is for civs. This is more of a civ feature.
Right on. We're gonna move on to Mr. Novak here. Novak, what's up?
Hey, oh shit. Earlier you guys said something about contracts, and then there was that thing about the Fed. Would it be possible to get contracts to help protect the Federal Reserve?
That would be more up to the APD on how they want to actually handle those contracts. Generally, what I was talking about is a group of rebels that are specifically offered certain rates, basically. We'll have like a preset rates. These are what you get for the APD. If the APD needs help, they reach out, and any of those gangs are available to take those contracts. That basically agree to a certain system that they will respond to certain events in a certain way. They're not going to rob the cops when there's not enough on, that kind of thing. They are actually going to take those contracts, then yes. But that would be up to the APD and how they want to handle the Fed specifically. If they have guys that want to do that, they want to hire you guys to defend a city, that would be up to them, right?
Alright, cool.
Alrighty. Scrolling down a bit, Leonidas seems to be next up. What's up, Leo?
Yo, y'all like fucking people up. When is fist fighting gonna be implemented? Or is it even an option?
Yeah, you know what, man? It was definitely thought of. We were thinking people might go around trolling because they don't have guns, and they might be everybody knocking everybody out like crazy. So we kind of held that one back. But we do have a shank feature that's being developed for jails, and you will be able to fight in jail. So jails there's a lot of tender love and care being put into the jails. I would like to throw out, this is not something that I've even started to work on, but I really would like to have a type of lawyer system and judge system and stuff, and have juries and stuff in the jail and all that stuff. So we can look forward to that one day for sure, but I haven't even started with it yet. But yeah, knocking out fist fighting in jail, not on the streets, because just think of the trolls. Think of all the trolls, man. I mean, anybody's just going to join the server and just go around knocking people out, like Shift G.
Well, you can make it like 7 or 8 hits would knock someone out, I didn't mean like a one-hitter quitter.
Yeah.
When people be talking that shit in real life, bro, you gotta scrap it out like men, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Well, when you just said that, I actually thought of a cool way to do it in my head. So we'll see, man. Actually, I have a pretty cool idea. So
consider it backburnered.
Alrighty, yeah. I'm excited.
Alrighty. Mr. Mikey, what's up?
Hello, I've just got a few questions, actually. It's about 3 questions.
Sure.
More about elaborate on the job system. Like, what type of jobs are going to be implemented?
We're looking at people that are able to sell stuff, like salesmen and stuff, like an arms dealer and stuff like that was something that somebody threw out. Another thing is we have a whole entire different class system being worked on, different classes of players. Everything from people in the medical field to drug dealers that are different than rebels, and they have different spawns and different bases and stuff like that. They'll have different types of duties and different types of jobs that they can do. There's going to be more type DP mission type things to run on the map, and kind of like solo missions that you have to do and stuff like that. Just kind of, thinking more about games like Grand Theft Auto and stuff like that, and kind of, there's things to do with people and there's things to do without people. I kind of want to offer that dynamic to our server. I don't think there's enough stuff to do without people. I'd like it, I mean, you can farm when people aren't on, but it'd be nice if there was like some solo type mission things that you could complete with like achievements and stuff like that. That's another thing we talked about with I'm That Guy. Maybe sometime in the near future, we'd like to have in-game achievements pop up when we have our perk system done. And the achievements could be linked to the forums and stuff, and could be popped up with badges and stuff for you guys. And so yeah, this is all the type of direction we want to head in. We want to kind of make things a little more open and kind of visible. So.
Okay. Another question. No, most of the questions I got to ask is just about the job system. Any thoughts on the tow truck company again?
Yes, repair truck code has been implemented. Actually, something I forgot to say for this patch, but it's for medics right now. It's not like a civ job. So
well,
the code is there though, and we could have that be a job for civs. Yeah, for sure.
Well, when I was on the APD force, I actually was writing up SOPs for a record company to be implemented on the server.
Nice.
And just checking on that, and also you start talking about contracts and new jobs. Is any type of contract is people that could just sit by and guard the thing, Federal Reserve when 7 cops are on, or something like that?
Well, I don't know necessarily about having a Fed guard. I mean, that might be something that we could talk about, but this is more or less an attempt to kind of appease the long. Everybody's really wanted PMCs on our server for a long time. We never really had a good way to go about it with the roleplay and stuff like that. I mean, it poses a lot of the same issues as bounty hunters and stuff like that. But having people that will help out the APD and having a more organized gang, input from gangs and stuff, having it be, more organized, that's going to make a big difference. That's going to allow us to have these jobs where they can help out and stuff like that. That's kind of what we're headed toward. It's more to like kind of work with the gangs and kind of offer a PMC type vibe, I think, is not necessarily just having like guards and stuff and just put jobs on the map for rebels to do for the police.
Okay. I just had a quick idea on the subject of jobs like the guard. Like certain areas, you just go up to stand inside the Federal Reserve, click sign in, and you have to stay within that boundary and to remain on duty to basically get paid extra to guard the Federal Reserve.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. And if somebody's already on duty,
if the Federal
you wouldn't be able
Reserve
to get
gets
on
robbed,
duty too.
it's a lower amount of money.
All right.
Did post a hide body code. I forgot about asking on that one.
I'm sorry, what happened?
In APD ideas, I posted a hide body script code, and I was just kind of wondering the process on that. I'd never been able to check on, seeing if that was implemented or anything.
I've never even seen it. What is? I guess we'll talk about this at another time. But yeah,
Okay.
Why don't you message me about that? I guess I don't know. What I'll have to figure out what it even does and whatever else, and see if we can use it.
I mean, in general, bodies do disappear over time. So I mean, as long as you
I don't know
left,
why we'd
it
need
doesn't
a hide
matter.
body.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm just.
We're gonna move on to the next person. Farva, here you go.
Thank you, Guy. Now, question about the uniforms. Will we actually? I've been waiting for this for a long time. Will we finally have legit police officer uniforms, like with the ties and the hat?
There are legit police officer uniforms that
Awesome.
won't be changing.
Damn it, Betsy! Oh.
Police officer uniforms will not be changing. Next question.
Awesome.
All right, moving back up to the top, we got Mr. Steve. Still looks like he has a question here, so go ahead.
Yeah, I'm a new question. I just had a quick couple of questions, a little bit geared towards the APD, but first off, just from a CA standpoint, are we gonna? I know I've talked to you about this a little bit, ITGH, but I think the rules need to be updated a little bit. I think there's some that are like unwritten that we've been kind of enforcing that I think people need to know about. I think everybody knows them at this point, but I think we should have them written down so we can at least quote them to people in the help room, because it's not looking great when we just say, well, it's a rule, you know.
I don't know. A
Make
lot
a
of the
list,
times
man.
people don't. Yeah, if you find something that's not in the rules you've been told, absolutely come to one of the head admins or write it down. But more specifically, people don't read multiple rules. Like, people go, hey, that's not a rule. And you go, well, we have a valid roleplay device and we have a red zone. You combine the two, this is the rule. So there are a lot of that. But that's because we have all the rules written out explicitly. We don't have them in one-line statements. They're situational. So I do agree we do have some situations that are missing like a literal, hey, you know, this is exactly what should be done there. We do have rules that cover pretty much everything, and you just need some common sense reading through them sometimes.
Right. No, I understand that type of stuff, but it just seems like every once in a while an issue pops up where like something happens and it's not explicitly said in the rules, and we'll rule upon it. And I just feel like a few of those things need to go in.
Yeah, like Six said, just write them down.
Right. Okay. And then beyond that, are we going to get the law system, or not the system, but the law list updated at any time? I know a few of them, I brought your guys' attention to it like 5 months ago or so.
Yeah, pretty much for the laws specifically, bring them to the APD. They have to update their law list. We update the in-game one.
Well, I'm
so
just talking
if
about
like
on
the
the
actual
forums.
laws, yeah, like the forum one specifically has
Yeah.
murder not written. I think is the main one.
Yeah,
But
that was what I was
most prices
talking
have to
about.
be redone. Yeah,
Okay.
that can totally be done.
Right.
Right on. Joe seems to have a question again. Go ahead.
So with all these events that we are talking about, for example, the one with the cutting power to a town, and various events and contracts, I'm assuming they'd all be tied with and bad karma outputs.
I'm sorry?
With these events that we're all talking about, would they be tied to bad and good karma outputs, depending on what you're doing?
Yeah, I haven't actually tied everything into it yet, but that's the logic, is to make, like, if you're helping out, like if like if rebels were like helping out the cops, or like doing something to like Cyrus was saying, where like you'd guard the Fed or something, that would 100% be a positive karma thing for sure, dude. Like anything that's like not basically killing, stealing, or robbing is going to be good karma, and killing, stealing, and robbing is going to be bad karma. Basically, it's a pretty simple system, you know.
All right, sounds good.
Right on. Back to Mr. Barbosa.
So another quick question about the karma system. So if you kill somebody, is it an automatic system that reduces your karma?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to be sitting there tallying it all. Yeah, it's automatic.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you kill somebody in self-defense, there's no way for the server to tell if it was in self-defense or not, and it's going to
Just
reduce
die.
your karma.
Yeah.
Just die.
Yeah, you will have, that will be one of the negative things of getting in a gunfight. Yep. Somebody can come up to you and start a gunfight with you, and if you kill yourself in self-defense, you just got negative karma. I would definitely say, fuck that guy. He just made me lose some bad karma. I don't like him very much anymore, and I'd go farm a little bit and make it back.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's not specifically that you're going to always have 100% karma. No person in life is 100% perfect Jesus all the time. There are going to be actions you take that are necessary evils, and that is killing somebody else. So yeah, your karma will drop. But if you're overall a good player and not going around robbing people, you'll replenish karma and be back up to a
And
decent
having
player.
one karma infraction isn't going to be like night and day. Like, oh, you killed somebody, now you don't have anything anymore. Back to square one. No, it's not. It's going to take more than like, you know, one killing.
Okay, and will that sort of automatic system be turned off for cops? Because obviously we can't, like, our
Yes,
rule,
it
like,
doesn't
We've
affect
already
cops.
stated that. Yeah,
Yeah, we've already went over this.
Well, I
It's
mean,
a civ-heavy system.
Pay attention.
the cops, the only negative infractions cops will have are infractions that are personally levied on cops because they're fucking up, and that will affect your karma on both factions.
That will involve me sitting there and staring at you
Going-
and clicking buttons.
Yeah, if you're pissing, if you're like screwing up, which I mean, I would hope you're a lieutenant, so I can't see that happening. But if it is, and you know you get kicked off the APD or something like that because you went around on some sort of crazy yelling killing spree, then yeah, you're gonna have terrible karma. But other than that, no. As long as you're doing your job correctly and not getting infractions, your karma will be fine. It won't be affected when you're on cop.
We're still missing a TeamSpeak rank, the APD Master Pilot.
That doesn't have anything to do with the community meeting.
Shut up.
Well, just feel free to send it to us afterwards, man.
I've been
But
messaging people about it, and
feel free
I got a
to send it to one of us on the forums, because if you PM people, it's one of the worst ways to communicate. But yeah, if you get an icon for it for the APD or whatever, and Howie, Toast, Keegan, one of the head ups, want to send it over to one of us, we'll get it set up.
Okay.
Alrighty, I think Betsy has a question, so we'll skip down to him.
Alright, so I play medic a lot, and sometimes I have to defend myself or defend other civs. Vince, I'm not gonna say that, no thanks. Stop poking me. What I was saying was, will karma affect medics also?
Yep.
Nope. Well,
no,
not in the
What do you
same
mean?
way.
You
like
killing
when you hurt
yourself?
people.
Yeah, you're not gonna have the same. Once again, it's just like cops. If there's a necessary evil that you need to complete or something, it would be your karma would be affected or whatever. But also worth mentioning, if you're somebody who plays rebel and medic, and let's say you've been a bad person for a week, you maybe want to spend a week playing medic and get your karma back up. You see what I'm saying? So you will be able to do stuff like that.
If you're doing medic right, it won't affect you, because you're going to be reviving people, healing them, that kind of thing. If you're going on medic, stealing people's weapons, and shooting people, that's your fault.
Yeah, no.
Well, that's the issue here. It relies on Marco playing medic right.
I'm always playing medic right. Vince wants me to say Vince for mod, but he keeps annoying me, so there you go,
I
Vince.
haven't touched you. That's fucking bullshit.
Alright, shut up. Shut up.
Alrighty, moving on to Farva again.
Okay, so yeah, just two questions. One, will the rebels have all their heavy gear and all that stuff? And if we're in an event in the spring, can we try like some kind of massive race?
Yeah, we can do a race. Races
sure.
are fun. Honestly, normally when we've tried race events in the past, you get like fucking 10 people, and everyone else is like, I don't want to do a race. But
not
yeah,
like-
I mean, if people
Not
are
like
interested, we could do that.
Sick. I mean, like this one. I played this one game on my PS2 called Need for Speed. It's basically where the cops chase down the racers, and if the racers get caught, they're pretty much out. So I'm thinking something like that, and give it like a really
Yeah, we
huge
can do
payout.
something like that. That's cool. Have a little cop chase down. That's
Mhm.
actually a fun idea, Dozer. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. And but my first question, I didn't really hear it correctly. Will the rebels still have all their heavy gear and light machine guns?
Are you talking about like right now, or like
when the
way
update-
post wipe?
When the wipe and
There's
updates
no
come out.
current, like in the current patches, that's not changing. As for possibly like a Tanoa server after the wipe, that's still up to discussion. But for
Because-
specifically this, like after the wipe, expect your heavy weapons to be costing you money, because if you're buying into Veed right now and you got 36 mil, and after the wipe you got no money, you're not going to be buying into Veed.
But I just found it kind of ridiculous when I was a cop before I got kicked off because of the exams that rebels would be going up with heavy special rigs and light machine guns, and the cops would just get like mowed down by these things, and I just found it really ridiculous. It frustrated me a lot.
It's one of those things where the cops do know how to respond to those things, but if you have those situations where a player just roll up on you, you get caught off guard, that's absolutely going to happen. But I'm sure there's plenty of players on the server that can attest to the fact that up close, a vermin has killed people with LMGs so many times, it's hilarious.
Plus, we don't want to be one of those servers that's like, oh, the rebels have Navids, now all of our cops get Navids too. And it's like, that shit's not fair.
But yeah, I'm kind of talking
and it's
about
not
Every
real
Navid
roleplay,
that comes
you know?
out on the rebel side, the cops will be reduced one further caliber until it's fucking rocket launchers versus pistols.
That's hilarious.
Alright. Skipping back up to the top again, Steve's got another question, go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna ask. I guess I have two questions as well. You just spoke about Tanoa. Any idea when we're gonna get a Tanoa server? If we're getting a Tanoa server, when it's
As
coming?
soon as it comes out, we will have a Tanoa server upon launch. I will be in the dev branch getting it ready ahead of time, so it's ready to be. It'll be ready for release. So as long as providing there's no humongous engine issues or development drawbacks or something, nothing like Bohemia game breaking, we should be fine.
Or it doesn't sell at all and there's only 3 people playing all of Tanoa.
Yeah. No, it'll be a hit. I can see.
Yeah.
But yeah, the big thing, just touching on Tanoa, that we are unclear about is, will the content be accessible within Altis Life without a mod environment? That is the big question right now. Will these Cessna planes, will these, new cars, new boats, everything, new civilian clothes, all that stuff, is it all going to be accessible in Altis Life? Or is it going to be like they did in OA, which is what I was talking about with I'm That Guy the other night? And are they going to release it as a whole new game, a whole new executable? Tanoa is a different game, which would be bad because then it's completely separate from Altis Life and all of what we have. And that would mean we need to bring those textures in a mod environment if we could at all.
Yeah,
So
or in
let's
that
hope
case,
they don't. Let's hope they don't do that.
In that case, like if they do release it as a full expansion, like they did with Operation Arrowhead for Arma 2, we'll basically, the Altis Light server will be the Arma 3 server, and Tanoa will be the Arma 3 Apex server. And people with Apex could play on an Altis Life server, and you can't go the other way basically. So once you spend that $30, you'd be able to access it.
All right, right on. Okay, so my second question is, can I advertise something server related right now?
Depends.
The press.
I don't care.
Yeah,
Sure.
all right, right on. Hey, so I know I've been spamming for the last 2 months this, but the Kavala Times that we've been writing, it's really popular, but it's gone dormant because nobody has time to write for it, unfortunately. The only 2 writers that we still have are ITGH and myself. We need help. We would love to have some help, but you got to be willing to write at least 1 article a week. If we can get like 9 or 10 articles in the paper every week, we can put 1 out a week. So if you fill that thing out, come talk to me and we can get you started.
Right on. So any interest there, it's a fun read regardless, so feel free to check the forums. There will be ones releasing, they'll just be slower as there's less people.
Absolutely.
Right on, thanks Mr. Steve. Betsy's coming back up here. What's up, Betsy?
Alright, so what I was saying, or my other question was, I know we had a Wasteland server, which, I was the best at, not gonna brag, but anyways, are we gonna see any more Wasteland or any of that coming next? Exile,
Honestly,
something?
it really depends. We were looking into Exile, that still may happen. Wasteland kind of has a really low adoption rate right now. And while it is fun to spend some time killing AI and with other players and whatnot, there are just so many other communities that's not our real stand. Tanoa is the main focus for obvious reasons when it comes out, but I know Six talked about Exile a few times. We might throw something up here and there.
Yeah, I'd like a Wasteland Essaker maybe. I mean, it takes a little bit of tender loving care. Honestly, really what derailed a lot of that mojo for the Wasteland was there was a problem with the stuff saving at first, and then this 1.54 patch came out, and we all were just like, well, fuck everything else. We're worried about our server crashing every 2 seconds. So yeah, now that, like I said, everything's like stable, it really is nice to take a deep breath and be like, all right, let's get back on the development train, release tons of features. And yeah, I actually have an Exiled server completely installed on the Chicago box. And when I put it up, I'm just having some trouble getting the database all set up and connected. I haven't, it's not like trouble, but you know what I mean? I haven't put the tender love and care 30 minutes into setting the rest of it up, basically. So yeah, an Exiled server could be right around the corner. But maybe one of these days I'll convince I'm that guy to go in there and poke around and see if he can get it working.
Right on. We'll move on to the next person. We have, I guess, Mikey's up next. What's up, Mikey?
I really just got a quick thing. Why don't we have like an event idea thread on?
We do.
Okay,
In the general discussion, there's a couple going. You can always start your own or revive one of the old
Okay.
ones. More specifically to that, though, as we said about CA apps reopening, we are working on getting an event team together.
Oh, cool, because I got one that's kind of funny as heck to think about. It's admins versus regular civs. Idea that would get you a free vehicle, high-priced vehicle in your garage if you win. And pretty much it goes along with the admins using some of their powers to psychically mess with the people, like mindfuck them and shit during the sword tournament.
Well, I mean, if you have more specific details, I'd recommend posting on the forum so everybody can kind of vote on it, whatnot. We can always open up a poll. But yeah, for now, I would keep like event ideas, that kind of thing, to the forums. That way, when we do get an event team, it's there and we can pull it from that.
Yeah, I had Jim gave me a quick, one day playing with Jim, he gave me a quick idea on it because he messed around with me with Invis and Direct Chat. It gave me a perfect idea for an event. I think he understands it as well.
The staff from time to time has always done some fun things with players and whatnot that, you know, trying not to abuse, but, you know, like spooky ghosts invading the city to incite some roleplay, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
so we might do something
teleporting
similar
off
in the
inside
future.
my Tempest while I'm driving down the road, scaring the shit out of me.
But that was Jim's nickname, Ghost. So what do you expect? All right, we'll have to move on to the next person here. We got Tadpole. I guess this is all Vince's fault. Do I have to ban a Tadpole? What's going on?
No. Question. Is there any consideration for a masked vigilante to help the police with criminal problems? Possibly driving a badass black Ifrit with or without guns?
I mean, you could already kind of do that. That's up to how you want to roleplay it.
Everyone heard him. He gave me permission to do that.
Keep in mind that if you are eventually apprehended by the police, you will still be processed to the full extent of the law.
Completely understood.
Alrighty. Moving back up to the top again. Who we got next? We got Brandon, looks like. What's up, Brandon?
Turn signals.
That's not worth the development time.
Aw.
Yeah, we could do it.
That's
I
awesome.
mean, it
Come
could be
on.
done, but yeah, scroll
a lot of
turn
effort.
signal.
Like
turn signal.
Yeah, like
There'll be a
turn
mod,
signals
though.
and emergency lights. Like, not emergency lights, but like caution.
Hazards.
Like if you crash, yeah.
Your hazards, yeah.
It could be cool. Like, I can see definitely where that comes into the realism side of it, but at the same time, they're just going to be like, you know, lights on the outside of the car. It's totally doable. It's a lot of time for just lights on the outside of the car for turning.
Yeah, true.
You know how when you look at your cop car and you see the lights, it's like just the light on the car? Like there's no like physical, like I wouldn't have like a physical like actual model for like the light to be there. It would just be like a circular like dink dunk dink dunk dink, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I don't know. It would do its trick. I don't know if it would look very great though, but yeah.
Yeah, dude, like that would add so much roleplay a little bit. It's like
I'm
the
down.
smallest thing matters too. Like,
Yeah,
think
no, it's
about
all
it.
about the little things. You're 100% right about that. So, yeah, man, I'll write it down right now.
Cool.
Don't consider it for the next update, but we'll definitely back burner that one. Moving on again, we got Betsy back up.
Alright, with thermals, I think there might be bugged or like something's wrong with them. But when using them, you know, it's kind of not fair, you know. Not fair, but like not fair.
What does that mean?
But
Sorry?
Yeah, I don't
hold
know what
on.
you mean.
Sorry, other people are talking to different teams. Like when you use a thermal, it's just one straight color, and you have to zoom in all the way to see the thermal.
Well, I haven't altered the
What?
thermals at all. I have no idea.
Yeah, unless that's something
You would need a
that's
mod
glitched.
to alter thermals.
Turn your hacks off.
Yeah, I would update your hacks. Probably. Get the
Alrighty.
newest version.
Moving back down again, Joey's got a question.
Yeah, I was wondering if there's gonna be like a fun day before wipe.
Yes,
Yes.
we will have a purge.
It'll be a couple days, and
Ooh.
you guys the paychecks will be increased to like $1 million paychecks every couple minutes, and yeah, you guys will be good.
Fun.
Right on. Back down again, Mikey again.
Oh, dude, I completely went blank for a moment. Sorry.
All good. Farba's back up.
Yeah, and this is I've been wondering, and I just got this from GTA 5 after finishing the campaign. can there be a Union depository, Rob, where it would just have this massive payout, but the risk would just be extraordinarily high?
Welcome to the Federal Reserve.
Well, nothing like the Federal Reserve, where you can just walk in and put a bomb out. I'm thinking about like drilling through a building and taking a ton of time just grabbing almost 500 pounds, almost to 2,000 pounds of gold.
Welcome to the Federal Reserve, Farva.
Yeah, we could do a modification on the Fed. Like I said, I'm putting up new Feds. I don't think we'll do something like that, but there has been a plasma torch in the game that has no use right now. So I'm going to make the plasma torch have a use, which will be the Fed or one of them. So there you go. We'll have a slightly different Fed, but not exactly what you're talking about.
Alrighty. Who we got back up here? It looks like Cruz is next. What's up, Cruz?
Alright, how's it going? I had talked to Sick about it earlier, but I had an idea as far as our rebels getting these big guns and this really nice equipment. If we could maybe take away some of the green zones at the rebel bases. That way, if you want to go get these guns and this equipment, that you're putting yourself at risk to get that kind of equipment to come into the cities with them.
That is it's really good thinking. I like where you're going with that, but that's already kind of being circumvented by the fact that there's going to be less things available, not this next patch, but probably the patch after that, at Rebel, and it'll be moved to the gang hideouts and stuff like that. So you're going to go to the super hostile gang hideout area to get all the better weapons. And at the Rebel base, where safe zone is, you'll have, lesser caliber, maybe 6.5 is where it will cut off at Rebel Base, and everything 7.62 and above will be available at gang hideouts. Something along those lines, but I don't necessarily think we're going to be getting away from taking away the green zones. If anything, I've coded something a week ago or so that actually adds event handler protection in green zone areas so that you can't RDM in those areas and stuff. I haven't enacted it yet. The code's all done. I'm just waiting to kind of, should we do it? Should we not? So, knowing that we're leaning toward that, I don't see taking the green zones off. But a really good idea, good thinking. I like where your head's at there. But yeah, we're kind of just doing it a different way.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I really like that idea. But you were saying you were taking it out where you can't be killed in the green zone at all. What would happen if, the situations are outside and then it comes in and all that?
Yeah, that's kind of why we haven't enacted it yet. There's just some, as with everything, man, we don't like to kind of put things into play unless we've really talked about it. And when we talk about it, we have like 5, 6 admins, 7 admins, 8 and staff. And there's always people that are like, but what about this? And you're just like, damn, you're right, And you got to put more thought into it. So, yeah, that's one of those things we're kind of working on, man.
All right, thanks.
Alrighty, moving back down. Mikey's up again.
Okay, I finally remembered what I was going to say. I was actually, I'm actually working with another group right now. We're trying to get a script made up for fast rips on orcas, and I'm just wondering if I could get to talk to you a bit about that.
There already exists a fast rope script that supports orcas. You can Google it. It's pretty easy to throw into games. The problem is it's going to kill you. But this is a meeting more about our community, man. If you want to set up your own server and have some fun, maybe you can talk to somebody more specifically, but this isn't about that, man. Right on, moving back up to Steel.
Hey, just a quick question again, a little more towards the APD side, but I think it'd increase roleplay. Any chance that it can be coded that cops can carry a taser and then a primary weapon being a pistol, and just being able to scroll wheel them rather than take it out of the backpack and then just leaving a rifle in the car? I think that'd be a little more roleplay friendly.
Yeah, it's extremely easy to code. It can be done very easily. It's just a matter of we never really were 100%, committed to going down that road. But yeah, we could do it.
Okay, I was just curious.
Right on. Looks like Betsy's back up again. What's up?
Will there ever be like two servers of Altis running where one is more militarized and one is more role-play friendly?
Not planned, more Tanoa. Like, Tanoa would be our baby for, civilian if it's got more vehicles and stuff. That would be, the less military of the two servers by far.
And if Tanoa were to come out, would it become more military on Altis?
That would be up to Sick. Any ideas?
Yeah, I mean, this is all community based. I'm not going to be in there fucking playing by myself. So this is something that would be a vote that would be taken. I'd want to hear what all of you think and what you guys want to do. Pretty much that simple. If you want Tanoa to be more militarized and take advantage of hiding in the canopy from the helicopters and shooting Cessnas down and all this crazy. If you want it to be like that, let's make it like that. In my mind, though, I see Tanoa as being just like Altis. I don't really see there being much difference. I see there being lots of military stuff and lots of civilian stuff in the cities, just whatever goes. That's how I see it. But yeah, I'd love to hear all your guys' input. We'll put up a poll on that when Tanoa becomes a little bit more of actual reality. I still don't believe they're going to release it at the end of Q2 or whatever, so.
Right on. We're hitting the end here, it looks like. Joey, what's up?
I had more of an idea than a question. I just thought about this earlier today, and I just remembered it a few minutes ago. How would, or, moonshine, I thought about, see you, like, run the moonshine, like, cops can catch you running it or something, and, like, you go sent to jail for it, or, like, something like that.
Yeah, we actually have liquor in our server. It's actually vodka and tequila are being added. Agave will be something you can farm, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do for vodka yet. But
Potatoes. We need a potato farm. Come on.
yeah, but yeah, there's
Cabbage
been
farm.
some really good people running around the server role playing as like Russian arms dealers and stuff and all that. And one of them made a request for some vodka. So yeah, we'll get our good Russian
That's
comrade
cool.
some vodka.
Right
Don't
on.
possibly know who you're talking about.
Cruz seems to have a question. What's up, Cruz?
Alright, I had just thought of something that was brought up while we're doing some APD stuff. If we could maybe reduce the amount of drug dealers, that way it's more dangerous to sell those drugs. That way, the APD could be lurking around and maybe have a better chance of catching these people doing drugs.
Well, we have 5 drug dealers points right now, I believe, instead of the standard 3. I could reduce it back to 3. I added 5 to actually just be different, But yeah, we could go back to 3 if you want, or something like that.
Yeah, it's just when we're doing these drug runs, the DEA runs, it's just really hard to, go to all 5, by the time they sell it.
Yeah, I hear that. I'll kind of go on the map. But yeah, that's another thing, guys. A lot of stuff on the map is actually going to be changing in the next weeks. We have some command staff members that have proposed some very interesting server shifting ideas. One of the big things in the white, man, is we want to kind of enforce more roleplay, more. That's such a generic way to say it. One of the big things we want to focus on basically is making rebels come together and run into each other more. Okay, so for example, logical centralized processing of goods. Maybe the cocaine and heroin will be processed at a factory on opposite ends nearby. Maybe copper or like rocks and salt, or like, you see what I'm saying? We'll kind of group some of these things together, and not just necessarily group them together, but also kind of maybe in a logical sense of for traveling along, one of a main road that goes throughout, a main artery of a road that goes throughout. Maybe from Aethera to, from Kavala to Aethera over to Pyrgos or something. We want to kind of make it so you guys will run into each other, and the cops will be able to kind of give you guys more fun. I'm not going to say the name of the server, but before I opened up this, I played on all the top servers, so hardcore. I play. You guys know how I code. That's how I was playing. I was just like 14 hours a day playing Arma 3, and I was always playing Rebel and stuff. And the most fun I ever had on any of the servers was when I switched to one of the less popular ones, and they had an APD that just all about catching people running drugs. They sent out their choppers to find you. They sent them out with ground reinforcements, a hunter and stuff. I mean, every time I heard the blades in the background, I'm like, oh my god, what kind of helicopter I hear? Is that a Civ coming? Is that, you know what I mean? And I'd be like, oh no, it's the cops. Get the Tempest device, let's bounce. You know, like it's so much fun. It just offers like that heartthrob, that adrenaline rush. That to me was a different experience, and it was better. And that's what I want people to feel when they come and play here. I want them to be like, damn, the cops here are they're good, man. Like they're after me. Like, you know, if it's not a rebel that's about to jack me for my stuff, it's one of the cops. You know what I mean? So that's basically where we're going with this. We're going to be moving stuff on the map to offer more of that experience. You know, and things will just be more logically placed out throughout the map. Also, obviously, like I was talking about, there'll be a lot more events spawning and stuff. So yeah, just look to a lot of different map changes over the next, I guess, month.
Yeah, the big thing is if you look at our, the map of Altis like a heat map, right now we have just a spider web. Everybody goes everywhere, does different things, or driving off-road, that kind of thing. We're looking to make things more focused so that people are closer together and main roads actually get used as main roads instead of just a quick way to speed at 300 kilometers an hour in your hatchback sport. So yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely what I was meaning. Just kind of bring some stuff together so that we're not so spaced out trying to find these guys.
Right on. Moving on to Mr. Brandon again.
Hey, I was thinking about adding on the main road like speed radars, like not cops, but like
Yes, we
built-in
can
speed
definitely add
radars.
those for sure. I have
But
all the code for it and everything. Those could be added at any time. It just we thought people would be salty about getting tickets without
yeah, no.
anybody being there.
Like what I mean is they get added to the wanted list for a speeding charge. Like it doesn't take money out of their account. It just makes them have a warrant on them. And if people like get those speeding, they have warrants on them, and it's just a little bit cooler.
Yep. Yeah, we could definitely do that, man. I even have a little red and white checkered pole that I place on the map, and you can be like, oh, there goes one of those speed trap things, and you can like, slow down and yeah.
The problem with that is we try to keep it roleplay friendly. We want it to just because a particular car drives by, we call it a license plate, but that doesn't guarantee that it's the person driving the car either.
Yeah. Yeah, I just want it to be like how in like real life, the speed radar and at the lights, and gets your license plate and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the first place I'd be putting that is on the MSR, boys. You know that.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, moving on then. Up is Novak again. What's up, Novak?
Just a quick question. How hard would it be to get a script for radios in cars?
Are you talking about streaming music, or are you talking about just me putting music on the server and then having you guys be able to select songs while you're in your car?
Yeah, just like a random playlist or something. Just selected, put on the server, and then you can press a button and it pops up on your car radio or something.
Yeah, I 100% certainly could do that, man. I'll write that down.
Because I don't know about everybody else, but when I'm driving cross country on Altis, it gets a little boring not being able to hear anything and end up pulling off on the side of the street and turn on YouTube to listen to music.
That Steam overlay, it's a bro. Right on.
Yeah, good idea, man.
Moving down again, we have Leonidas up again.
Alright. Everyone knows I'm from Mexican descent, bro. So I was wondering if someone can pick my ass up from, Home Depot or something. I go pick apples illegally. I don't have a license, bro, and sell that shit. Are you kidding me, bro? That shit would be nice. I have to worry about the cops deporting my ass.
What
For
kind of
picking apples
apples?
illegally. That's a great idea.
Make an illegal immigrant system, ship it back to Tanoa.
Illegal immigrant system, bro. Come on. I get paid fatty, bro. Fat ducats for being
You're the
illegal
best,
immigrant.
Leo.
I do that shit
I
for
love
sure,
you.
bro. Come on.
Make a small portion in like the far southeast corner of the map.
That would be
I'm
awesome.
not sure on that one. It's kind of funny though.
One thing
Ah.
I have been working on. Somebody made a request last week for a slave system where you could make somebody do stuff for you when you take them hostage and set them doing a task for, picking. Somebody said picking cotton. I'm just gonna stay away from the whole picking cotton thing. We'll go with like make them farm weed for you or something else or
Mining the
whatever.
salt because they're salty about it.
Yeah, exactly. But whatever you guys want them to do, basically, we'll give them a task to do, and they can, you can take control of them and make them your slave for a little while and stuff. So that actually was supposed to be added with the blindfolding, but that's probably going to end up being added next patch while blindfolding
You know
will
what?
be added this
I'm
patch.
gonna be doing that shit, bro. I'm gonna go on the server and I'm gonna tell people that I'm a legal immigrant looking to get paid. I'll fucking pick plutonium for you. I don't
Nice.
care. Give me rad suit.
You're
So you're
hilarious, bro.
saying if I'm gonna give somebody a ticket and they don't have enough to pay for it, I can make them my slave?
Basically.
Vegan, you're 15, bro. You can't have no slave.
Let's be honest
That's
though,
right.
if we have a slave system and you're picking like nuclear material, they're not going to give you a radiation suit. You're not making it back.
I'm not a slave. I'm an illegal immigrant.
Yeah.
I'm not that low on the system.
They just
all
take
right?
your passport and whatnot. It's all good.
I'll turn you into a rabbit after you have too much
What
uranium.
passport?
Exactly. Alrighty. Moving on to the next one. Jack the Ripper, you're up.
Okay, cool. I got two things here. One, I don't know if anybody plays the text in life. I've been seeing a couple things about it in the chat. I was wondering on if we could implement a system to where there's not just APD, but there's also a secondary force, kind of like the UN.
Are you talking about like a NATO type system, or
Yes,
like
like there's APD for like Kavala, the towns surrounding it, but yet there's a more militarized.
So what angle are you
portion of
coming
it.
from? Is this a within the APD thing, like a higher rank of it, or a different rank of it, or is this a complete
It's a separate system.
separate entity
Just
like
like
a
in
PNC?
Pakistan life, it has the special forces, and that's the police force that they have within the city. Then they have the United Nations, which takes up checkpoints. They do all the drug busts. They do, if people's locking down the town, they come in. They, lock down Kavala. Um, you know, they obviously have more militarized vehicles and things like that. They basically take on the more heavier of the threats.
So it's pretty much like one is a cop force and one is a SWAT team, which
Yes, kind
of.
We've
Sort of,
seen
but not
other
really.
servers, throw out the idea of National Guards and whatnot. I've never personally been too much of a fan of it because honestly, we don't need the extra militarization. The cops have had a SWAT team previously, and they're in the works of fixing that because it doesn't always work out. It is definitely an idea and something we've thought about before under different names like FBI and whatnot. So it is possible it's going to happen. Hopefully that kind of action, though, in the future will be fulfilled by contracts of gangs, because gangs are the ones that are going to have those huge weapons. So we do have a system like that in the works, and we are thinking of ideas to fill that kind of space of areas the cops generally wouldn't cover or can't cover, but it may not be exactly that kind of system.
Okay, and then number two would be for gangs, just like APA. What about custom clothes and vehicle skins for the gangs?
If we get Sorry,
go
go ahead. I was just going to say, if we get our monetization accepted, we'll be offering a lot more stuff like that, specifically for gangs, like more gang features and whatnot.
Yeah.
If we get for players as well, you'll get cool clothes for being a donator regardless, but that will be one of the options for sure.
One thing I
Okay,
was
cool.
talking to I'm that guy about the other day, and I'd like to bring it up with some of the other staff and stuff, but we were kind of projecting the idea of a certain time frame and activity level that a gang could be required to meet. This is also hand in hand with the kind of enhanced gang. I don't know. I'm that guy who was talking about making gangs that are more serious and kind of having a different level of gangs. Whereas some gangs are just newer and aren't as active, whereas some are extremely active and serious. Those guys could have some special things, maybe like a gang hideout or bases made for them just because they've played here for so long and stuff like that. And I would totally be open to doing something like that. For example, APA or any other big gangs that have been around for a long time. There's a lot of you guys around here that have been in gangs. We have, like I said, lots of regulars here, and creating a formal system of that is something that you can look forward to in the future, most likely.
Right on.
All right, sweet. Thank you.
Thanks for the question. Moving back up to the top again, we got Joe. What's up, Joe?
So with this new karma system that might get implemented, or will be, maybe in the future, can bring back, or I don't know if it was ever implemented, but suicide vests, maybe if.
Too much
Suicide
for the
vests are one
trolls.
of those topics
It's just for
where
trolls, man. Let's be real, dude. I mean,
That is true, but I mean, you can make it
such a
some
troll thing.
ridiculous
no matter
price.
how expensive we make it,
Yeah.
people will farm to the point where they get a suicide vest, run somewhere, and blow everybody up.
Suicide vests were added for a total of a half hour or something. I had it added at one point, and I didn't run it by the staff beforehand. And when I ran it by them, they were all like, "What the fuck are you thinking? Oh no, it's gonna be terrible." And I was like, "But they're like $2 million a vest." They're like, "No way, people are just gonna save their money and whatever." So we removed them when the server restarted. But yeah, I don't think. I mean, yeah, it's
Plus,
just
we'd
like
have
car
to-
bombs, you know. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I could role play a car bomb pretty good. Is everyone else gonna take that same precaution and do it as responsibly?
If we did add 'em,
Definitely,
like-
some of you will, but I bet some of you won't too.
Yeah, there are certain items that would 100% be great for roleplay, and we totally understand that. But at the same time, they're just too trollable. It's too easy for people to get those at any price or any limitations and use them specifically to mess people up. And as much as it is fun to have those items to use for roleplay scenarios and hostage situations and whatnot, it's not worth the amount of admin time and amount of crap you guys have to deal with in the meantime while we clear out the people that are going to abuse those. So unfortunately, that one's pretty much been shelved previously. Right on, we're going to move on to Nathan here. So Nathan?
So what I was thinking, because I know Sick personally wants to stay away from militarization, but for the PD, why not like add the KRV 6E Bobcat unarmed, so the APD could just have a plow for roadblocks, especially for Fed, because a while ago we did I'm just gonna use an example. A while ago, CWI, we took a whole bunch of off-roads and blocked the entrances so cops can get in. And that seemed to be a problem for them. So like having an armed version of the Bobcat.
Yeah, the Bobcat only has a 5.56 millimeter or whatever on it as well. I think it's really like not too OP, but it does have like 2,000 rounds or something.
Yeah.
So, and this is something that keeps coming up every couple months. The Bobcat. I'm kind of open to it, but man, there's always somebody who poses a good angle who says, "Man, I don't know about that." And if you put it in there for the cops, you got to put it in there for the rebels too. Otherwise, they'll.
I mean, they can.
feel like
You
it's
can
bogus.
easily get like a Hammett and just plow through it just as easy as the Bobcat will in game.
Yeah, but the
A Tempest repair maybe. Those
The
things are like a
Bobcat
brick.
is just so heavily armored. If you could look at its actual armor rating, like even the Strider, which is probably the most heavily armored vehicle available, has a 300 armor rating. The Bobcat, I believe, has a 600 armor rating, which is double that compared to a vehicle like an Ifrit, which has 100. It's just for a rebel to take out a Bobcat owned by the police, it's just not fair to the rebels to have to bombard them with that much firepower.
Oh man, it's so nice to have someone as knowledgeable as you, Toast, on the APD, and knows every stat about every little thing, man. I love you.
Yeah, that would be one of the bigger problems with it. Obviously, if you were to implement this, you would have to figure out a way, to make it more fair.
The biggest thing about it, honestly, is just that it doesn't provide any options for pushing vehicles or anything. Like, it is cool for the roleplay because it does have a shovel on it, I get it. But it doesn't really provide anything that a Strider doesn't or like a Tempest doesn't, because the Tempest just has the weight behind it regardless.
My favorite thing, if I could add something, would be for the rebels. It would be to add the Madrid, which is that 6-wheeled vehicle, and it only has an HMG and GMG on it. And because it's not treaded, the tires can still be shot out. So that's my.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Right on. We'll
The
move
cops should
on
get
to
the
Mr.
marshal.
Novak again. What's up, Novak?
When Nathan said about the vehicle to get rid of checkpoints made by civs and everything, I think there is a vehicle called a Panther or something, and it doesn't have any type of weaponry on it, and you can just ram straight through vehicles. So that might be something.
The Panther
But,
does have a weapon on it.
Oh, does
It's got
it?
a tiny gun, yeah. It's another 6.5, I think. Or
No,
that
no,
one's
it's
larger.
There is
That
there
one's
is a
larger.
tracked vehicle
I'm
that
pretty
doesn't
sure it's
have any
actually a
weapons on it.
GMG.
Well, never mind.
It is.
But
It has a 40 mil GMG or a 12.7 HMG.
what I was really getting the question for was when you have somebody handcuffed. I noticed that in the animation list on editor and everything, there's an animation for a guy sitting down with his hands behind his back. What if just a little thing, but what if there was a way, like maybe a guy who's handcuffed could press X and he'd sit down with his hands behind his back? It'd add for some pretty good roleplay where you can tell somebody to get on the ground while they're handcuffed and they can like be sitting down up against a wall.
Writing it down, man. Great idea. Totally. As long as the animation's not glitchy and allows someone to animate glitch out of being restrained, then yes.
If you do know the animation code specifically, send it over to SICK, like the identifier for that specific animation. It'll be easier. If you don't, no big deal. We can find it.
Yeah, I'm always in the animation editor, anyways. I keep trying to find that fucking pointing animation, man. I want to add that pointing one for you guys.
Right on. Next question here looks like Betsy with his many words that almost made me lose him again. What's up, Betsy?
How's it going? With the pointing animation, can I just say one thing that I did one time?
No.
All right.
As long as it's not a troll.
It's kind of a troll. So how Brandon was talking about the speed signs or whatever. I know over here where I live, they were taken down by like protests or whatever. But is there a way where we could buy a blasting charge and plant it there and blow up the the
Yes.
speed thing or whatever?
Yep, there is.
All right.
Vandalize them so that they don't work anymore. Yeah, you can do
Yeah.
that.
And the
That'll
cops
be
have to
taking
like
away some
rebuild
karma.
it or something.
Yeah, that'd be cool. All right, good idea. Back down again to Leo. He's completely muted. I am going to skip him. Alrighty, back to Jack the Ripper.
Thank you. Just got a roleplay question. I was wondering on this doesn't apply to me specifically, but I was just curious as to it has more to do with APD and civs robbing. I was wondering if I could do anything about seeing if something could be implemented to where, say somebody's robbing a bank or something or a gas station, like it's not just KOS. Because I've noticed before I joined APA, I tried robbing a lot of places and I was just killed on site. I would love to do a little bit more role play when it comes to that specific type of thing. I don't know.
You're talking about by the
Okay, yeah. No, I see what you're saying. I see what he's saying. He's saying that everything like hacking, robbing, gas stations, the red zone gets created and it's a KOS, and he's tired of getting KOS'd, and he would actually like to do one of those events and then have to roleplay it. And I actually totally understand, and I'll work on something to offer you.
We may have
non-red
specific
zone.
points in the future, but the general red zone there because most people want to shoot. As for the cops, though, if you're having an issue with the cops just running in there and shooting you, absolutely feel free to talk to one of us or Toast or Howitz or
that's
Deegan,
what I'm meaning. It
because
was actually
that
just
shouldn't
a
be
couple
how it's
days ago.
handled.
Actually, I was robbing a gas station and I was just killed on site. I didn't
Yeah,
role
obviously
play. I
our
tried
officers
role playing and I
shouldn't
was
be
just
just
shot.
doing that.
So.
Yeah.
I mean, part of a regular protocol is to try to talk to people. Sometimes people want to role play. Sometimes people want to shoot out, and so our standard procedure is to pull up if we have the opportunity to speak to someone or call in there and talk to them. We try to. If sometimes we're going to pull up and immediately start getting fired upon, we know pretty quickly when we pull up whether the person's robbing it for the firefight or they're robbing it for the role play device. And we do our best to teach our cops to filter that, because they like the same thing. They like a mixed bag of all of it too. So at the same time, we always, we want to make sure and use our, I don't know, there's a lot of behind the scenes things there, but we definitely do want to be as fair as possible to everyone who wants each type of interaction with the police. So yeah. So that's something we always strive for.
If you do run into a specific scenario like that, especially if you record, feel free to submit it to either one of us or, Howitzer, Toast, Keegan, one of those guys, or a complaint on the forums if you think it's that serious, because that's not the way those are supposed to be handled. Or even if you don't have a recording, give us names. We can keep an eye on those people just to make sure.
Right,
But yeah.
Because it's just I know this isn't a hardcore roleplay server. It's just I'd absolutely, the server has a lot of potential, like an extremely amount of potential. I just really love to see more people get involved and more people actually, instead of trying to just kill people or going in looking for trouble, try to do more of the roleplay, try to interact with people and things like that. That's what I want to see.
Absolutely agree. The problem that fights against you as well, as Toast was saying, is like 90% of the people that rob a gas station did so for just the intent to shoot a cop.
Yeah.
So who knows what pointer led them to shooting you in that case? It may have been, somebody that was inexperienced, somebody thought you were going to fire at them or whatever. But, yeah, I mean, like you said, we're definitely not the most hardcore roleplay server. Personally, that's the kind of server I love, and, this server would be that if we were some whitelisted community. We're not, and we don't want to be that. So we absolutely do expect our cops to roleplay when they go in, as Toast said. We expect that initiation to be roleplay. It doesn't necessarily mean the person on the other side of the door is not going to have a giant gun. So, like I said, that specific situation, if that's how that went down, that was wrong. We do apologize for that. It does happen, though, unfortunately. Get us some names. Let us know when it happens, and we'll look into it for you, because I've gone through many a situation where I just sat down and smoked some weed, and the cops came in. We had a nice conversation while I was robbing a gas station. And there's times when you start it up and you have your gun out. They tell you to put your gun away. You press the wrong button and they shoot you in the face. So it absolutely happens. Like I said, just pass us some names, info. We're always looking to correct actions like that.
But if this server did go into a hardcore roleplay server, I would support you guys 100% like I already do. I love it.
Right on.
That's something that we actually we're strongly considering for the near future. Is a mod server, but we would like to do it the right way and actually have our own framework. A lot of these mod servers you see that are put up, they're using either A3L's framework, which is still Altis Life's framework, by the way, or Altis Life's framework, and it's technically against terms of service to be doing such. So we like to stay good with Bohemia and keep everything within terms, and we will do our mod server and our own framework when all the hard work is done. And we already have a lot of people in the community who've already said, we'll put up a Twitch stream and we'll go on Turbo Squid and we'll buy models and we'll do everything from scratch. So a lot of people are in support of that. So that will definitely be epic. That will probably be coming sometime around before Tanoa, hopefully, is what we're hoping for. But yeah, no timeline guarantee on that. But this will definitely evolve into a whitelisted server community at some point, and will not be only that, but we'll offer that as well.
Now, when you say the A3 Life kind of thing, if you guys are trying to do it on your own, kind of backbone, are you guys gonna use more of the Takistan Life kind of theme of it, to where you still have the original Arma, characters, first person, third person? Or are you gonna have the whole weird A3 Life person where you look over your shoulder?
That A3L code, that I can answer that. The A3L the over the shoulder look is actually a simple it's 2 config files that are tied in with an optional PBO that the server could actually just take out easily. And so that's not something that is forced on anyone who does a mod server.
Yeah, because that's one of the biggest reasons why I don't play A3L.
We would absolutely not force a roleplay perspective. You can play whatever perspective you want, as long as you're role playing. That doesn't matter to us. That's not. Some people feel like everything should be first person. You look at DayZ, you see like the DayZ hardcore communities where everything's only first person. I'm talking about Arma. The combat's janky to begin with. It doesn't matter. For the roleplay area, you can see people around you. It doesn't really matter. So, no, I don't think we'd be changing camera angles or anything like that. I more or less, character models and faces and whatnot, absolutely.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Right on. Moving back up to the top again, we have, it looks like, Nathan. What's up, Mr. Nathan?
Alright, so I have a question about the whitelisting of the server, as you mentioned. I'm gonna guarantee you, like, how would that work? Because I'm gonna guarantee you, everyone in here right now is probably a main player of the server. So, would we have to apply for whitelisting, and then usually most servers have a interview process, or is the main people, especially on COP or main factions, would we just automatically get whitelisted?
We haven't even gone through that yet, but to be honest, we'd most likely accept long-time players on our server without interview to just give you guys a break and be happy that you guys want to participate in that server as well. But yeah, we would have most likely an interview process and staffing to support
And there would be
players.
separate rules and whatnot for that kind of server in which you'd have to agree prior to taking it up. So we'd expect you to have a basic level, and obviously we're not going to give any favoritism to our old school players, even though you guys have been here a while and we love you. If we do that, and you guys are fucking around or you're not up to that level of the rules or of roleplay, or you're fail RP all the time, then obviously that's not an exception we're willing to make. But if we know you and we absolutely know you're able to roleplay, like a majority of people in here are, especially on a good day, sometimes they like to just go kill people. Not pointing any fingers, Flacco.
Flacco.
So, we do absolutely have those players around here and people who are awesome at roleplay. Most people are, to be honest. It doesn't mean everybody is all the time. So we'd be, looking out as hard at those players as everybody else. But, I wouldn't expect everybody to get interviewed right away. There's no reason to.
But when it comes to the whitelisting, aren't you, especially Sick, aren't you worried about the community kind of falling apart? Because not as many new players will be able to find it. Because
we 100% will not switch over from this. That's why I said this will exist always. This Altis Life server that we have right here is not going anywhere. This is until the Bohemia and Battle Eye servers and all that crazy stuff, and we'll still probably find a way to keep it up. So this server is not going anywhere. Whatever we do is beyond this, is being added on top of this. When we set up epochs and we talked about doing a Rust server at one point and all this stuff, we're never stopping this. Tanoa comes, still not stopping this. Mod server, still not stopping this. So we have enough server box, whatever room, to support what we're doing. We're obviously not going to overstack our own boxes. So I see what you're saying. A bunch of people from regulars will play on that server instead of this one, maybe. And that's fine. That just opens up the gates. Like that guy said, we had 8,000 unique players over the last 2 months, right? Or what was it?
Yep.
I don't know. Yeah, so it's ridiculous. And we've had moments like that before where, people get off of vacation or in the summer or whatever, where we see an influx even greater than that. So, I mean, we have, 40 to 60,000 people in our DB that are unique. I mean, we are one of the biggest communities that exist in Altis Life by a long shot. There's a lot of bigger communities than us that have around, community-wise, that have around the same unique players. So we're not going to have a problem with getting people in our server. If you guys all went and played on the other server, the server would still find new people to go and fill it up, most likely. So I'm not worried about that. I mean, if it's fun and people want to do it, they'll come play on it. So if the mod server is awesome, we'll probably pull people from other mod communities. I'm sure people from CG, there's people who've been playing there forever, love a break, come over there and play on and check out ours, and it's great, it's different, so whatever. We'll definitely be whatever. There's a whole group of people basically that are committed to playing in only mod servers. That community is completely separate from the Altis Life community, in my opinion, so I don't think there's an issue, to sum it up. Sorry.
All right.
Right on. We'll move to Brandon here. What's up, Brandon?
Alright, so this kind of relates to the police. So, have you ever had those people that just text the police, but they do not give them their location? So they're like, hey, I'm getting robbed, and then that's it. They just send you, they don't even send you their location. They hey, I'm stranded, and it gets so annoying as police. Is there a way you can add,
So
when
I
you
know what
text
you're
it,
gonna
you
ask,
can trace?
and this is something absolutely that's been brought up. The issue is some servers and a lot of servers people play on give GPS location to the cops every time you text dispatch, which is great. But it also doesn't work well if there's a hostage situation or something like that. You have to text a specific cop or something like that in order to not be giving away your location or get a third party to do it from another city or something like that. We had played with the idea previously of having a, you send a disguised dispatch or you send a regular dispatch. Sick could tell you more about something like that, or if it's in the works. But yeah, it is something we thought about previously.
Yeah, like, or you can do, or like you can make a new tab for texting the police, like by saying that you are like, there should be a tab that says a stranded text, like the police if you're restrained or can't talk if you're stranded or something. But like because you just said that, probably you could do like in quotations like quit like GPS or some shit like that. I don't know. Or,
Yeah, we could do multiple messages. There could be 2 buttons, text cop anonymous. There could be a different phone you get, whatever. Like I could, I don't know. There's ways to do it. There's ways to make it work. I actually was looking into placing a marker on the map for cops where where calls are coming from. That way they can respond to it and see it a lot easier.
Yeah,
So
like
this is all something I've been working on actually in whatever last week or 2.
yeah, like you can put or would be a good idea is like a general area. So like about a 1 kilometer area around where the dispatch was called from, like a orange or area like around where the player is or something. So like the cops actually have to look for them in that area. Or
Yeah.
yeah,
I think
because it just
different
gets
call
so
buttons
annoying.
would probably be the best option, to be honest. Give people ability to make an anonymous call or not.
Yeah, because it's just so annoying as cop just hearing, "Hey, I'm stranded," and then like having to send them, "Hey, where are you?" and like they don't
The
text
flip
back.
side to that, is how anonymous is a call actually. The RP. I mean, pretty much if you're not going through some type of special proxy system or whatever, you're going to be tracked at least to the nearest cell tower. So no matter
Yeah.
what, cops can always find your generalized location. So I see the RP in that and putting up like a marker that has a generalized location of where it could be. But imagine your map just cluttered with all these like, oh, it could be here, it could be here.
Yeah.
There's a whole other side to that. But yeah, man, good idea for sure, dude. And it's something that actually been brought up in the past, and it's kind of semi in development. So.
All right, cool.
Right on. Moving back to Nathan, I guess, because he was right below somehow. What's up? What's up, Nathan?
Oh, I forgot to.
Alrighty. Moving back down to Novak.
I did the same thing, didn't I?
Okay. Back to Betsy. I don't want to know what a private queue is. It's
No,
like
I've got
a
private question.
What does that mean?
I've got private question for fucking when everybody's gone.
This is a public meeting. You can't have a private question. Ask it or be quiet.
All right.
He's the guy who says, "I got a secret."
Yeah, like this is not share your secret hour. If you have a question for everybody to hear, absolutely. If not, message one of us.
Fuck. All right.
Okay, moving on. Back to Mikey.
Okay, this is more of a idea, but Nathan's idea on the Bobcat, police Bobcat, I actually have a code that would remove the turn off of any armed vehicles. It will remove the turn off the marshal to where it's just the marshal's hull, no gunner seat or commander seat. Can't use the gun.
Yeah,
and
well,
you'll be just
like we
driving
said,
around.
it's definitely not hard. Like we said though, it's more specifically the fact that it doesn't offer anything different and just looks, more militarized. Like any vehicle you have currently can shovel through as easy as a Panther or anything else. I mean, unless you're trying to run them over, in which case you're just crushing people's cars and you're not clearing the roadblock at all. So that's more or less where we're coming from. Not because people could shoot out of it. A 6.5 isn't going to do anything regardless.
Yeah, well, the reason
I
why
could
was
just strip
saying
the
is
ammo from the vehicles easily, so that there's no ammo in them. There's a bunch of different approaches, but yeah.
Yeah. The thing is, it would look more police-ish because without you driving around with a freaking 120 millimeter cannon or 50 caliber machine gun on top.
So is a Strider, right? You just roll the Strider through there.
Yeah, but it would actually be a lot more RP worthy to have a marshal with no gun on top drive up to the Federal Reserve during this when it's happening, where the police actually has armor instead of the hunter.
Well, I mean, something like the Strider one, as Toast already said, the thing is you don't want it to be easy to kill. but at the same time, those things are ridiculously armored. And yeah, I mean, they could roll up in that, but they could as easily roll up in a Strider or something else.
Yeah,
So
the Marshall is
we would rather stick
not
it to like the APCs
Yeah,
than
I mean, like for a Strider, a police
with
Strider
wheels.
to be taken out by a Rebel Hellcat, you're looking at, I mean, you're looking at least 5 or 6 DARs in just the right spot on that vehicle. To take out a Bobcat or a Panther and a Rebel Hellcat, you have to unload the entire, all 24 rounds of that thing to just have a chance of blowing it up.
If they're a good pilot too.
If I mean,
And do you want something with twice that armor that you have to face every time, regardless of if it's even just protecting the cops that are watching the situation?
Yeah,
You know,
but
that's
most
really
times
the
I
issue.
don't see a Hellcat or anything. I see the armed orcas going around with the guided dagger rockets. That
They're
will
still-
actually two of the dagger rockets will blow up the Marshall, and there's actually the PCML that could use 1 to 2 rounds.
Right, but
and
at
blow
that
up the
point, why
Marshall.
wouldn't you just use the Strider, right? It's gonna blow up in one
Strider's
hit.
one shot.
There's no reason
Yeah.
not to. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're pulling out the biggest guns there is in order to destroy a situation, then you expect the item to be destroyed. There's no reason for, like Six said, there's no reason for the cops to then play this one-up game of, oh, we got one thing bigger. That AA is still going to take out that stupid helicopter, right? So it doesn't change. It's not making it any better. It's not like it's a Tigris running around that's going to stop the Fed. So we do get it, and yeah, we absolutely know it's possible to remove ammo or slots and kick people out of seats for any vehicle, but it's not necessarily the vehicle we want the face of the APD being, whereas like the Strider is a lot more puffy and floats on water and it's cool.
Yeah, I will say. Yeah, I agree with that. But you just gotta include one thing: is while I was on the police force, I saw we were completely undergunned each time. Every time we fought, we would have to start begging for permission to start pulling out stuff.
Well, things have changed.
you
That doesn't
use.
happen anymore.
Yeah.
But more specifically for the police stuff, for everybody, you know, that's more to be brought up in APD meetings. They do their own meetings, but if you have issues with how they respond to certain situations, feel free to bring up forums, you know, and something like that. This meeting's more about features in the community in general. Something like the vehicles, that's fine, something we discussed here. But as for like how cops respond to things, it's always going to be less than what the rebels have to some extent, because the cops are ones that are going to be training with tactics and have their own communication system. If rebel gangs are that good, great on them. Have fun doing feds and whatnot. The cops are still going to provide you a challenge. We're going to move on to Tadpole again here. I think I might have skipped him last time. What's up, Tadpole?
Forgive me if this is already there because I haven't seen anything about it, but you were talking earlier about capturing people and making them do things that you wanted them to do, but them not doing so, or them not wanting to. What about loading them with explosives as, like, say, you get them arrested and then you remote detonate them to bust somebody out of prison?
That was the suicide vest portion of it, the same sort of thing. It's the same sort of issues. Well, it would be great for roleplay. At the same time, it's really just going to end up with people putting a vest on somebody or, you know, rigging somebody up and then throwing it into a place.
I apologize. I did hear that earlier, and I'm very sorry for bringing it back up.
No problem. I mean, code-wise, I could do something crazy like make it check for buildings around you and people. That way you can only detonate if you're not around things that matter and blah, blah, blah. But that's probably something that would be done long in the future, as it would require a lot of testing. So.
Damn it, Tadpole.
Alrighty. Moving back up to... Actually, looks like Betsy's next. That's not good. I assume this question is still private. Is it still private? Oh, god damn it. Alright, anybody else with questions? This is your last chance. If not, we're going to end the meeting. Regardless, we thank all 39 people that came out for coming out. If you missed something and you're here later, we will absolutely be uploading this recording just like all the others and posting them up on the forums. Do remember that we try generally to run these more often than we have recently. Pretty much ARMA issues is the reason we haven't run a community meeting. There's nothing to talk about because we've been working on issues and Six's been busy as heck. So there was no real reason for a meeting. If you do want more meetings, feel free to post on the forums. We'll have a poll coming up about, you know, how often you kind of want these things. I'm always up to talk. Generally, you know, everybody here has questions, and there's always issues going on in the community. We'd love to keep those addressed instead of, you know, having everybody be pissed off in their silent corners and screaming into pillows and whatnot. Right on. It looks like we're finally done with the questions. So to that, we end the meeting officially. Thanks for coming out, and you guys have a great night. Have fun on the server.
Oh, Robin, hell yeah, XCOM 2.